Dad, I'm broke.
Hey, broke. I'm Dad.
Dad.
Okay, don't you have cash saved up from babysitting?
No, I spent it. I want my own bank account from S&T Bank. They offer free ATMs, Zelle, and an annual scholarship. Plus, when I open a Smart Start checking account, I get $100. See? I'm responsible.
Hey, responsible. I'm Dad.
Visit stbank.com/smartstart for details. Bonus available July 1st through September 30th, 2022. Opening deposit balance of $50 required. Member FDIC.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio.
Yeah. It's time for the Kevin and Nikee Show. They gon' have it lit up. Yeah, you know, it's time for the Kevin and Nikee Show. They got the airways popping every city across the globe. It's time for the Kevin and Nikee Show. They gon' have it lit up. Yeah, you know, it's time for the Kevin and Nikee Show. They got the airways popping every city across the globe. You know him as a dope actor, Kevin D. Bitten, 360 twice Jim, how he keep winning. And you know the baddest actress, Nikee Warren. She's so bad you walking past, she had you speaking for her. If you ain't tuning in, this your reality check. You might miss out on your favorite star celebrity guest. When they celebrate, what you do, you get the bell, yeah. During Kevin's corner, get inspired and encouraged, yeah. Bend them corners while you listen, but don't swerve. Find out what's getting on Nikee nerve. What's bothering Nikee? What's bothering Nick? What's bothering Nikee? What's bothering Nick? Keep on playing. Me and Kevin goes and we gon' get you hit. Yo, check us out on social media. In your mobile phone, we everywhere. You ever stations played out like a ringtone. Follow me like Bino R-E-M-E-Y. Bino Remy. Pop like Semi. And my flow hotter, thicker semi. Been doing this since I scraped up pennies. But back to the subject, Kevin, Nikee.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah. That was powerful. That was very, very powerful speech by Dr. Martin Luther King.
One of his many speeches.
Yeah.
My favorite one is the one he like, free at last. I love that one.
Yeah. And, it's real interesting with that particular speech. That was one of the speech where he kind of knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
And that's what he was talking about when he said, I may not get there with you, but, my eye has seen, the glory of the Lord. My eye has seen the promised land. And, so it's very, very, very touching and emotional speech. And I don't know, man. It's just, when you look at what Dr. Martin Luther King stood for, he stood for peace. He stood for nonviolence. He stood for equal rights. He stood for that which represents good. Mm-hmm. But yet he was a man that was, so hated. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it really does, speak to the issue of race relations back then, and even to this very day. You know what I'm saying? You have to ask the question: if someone's standing for that which is right, good, just, fair, and equal, and one is opposing that which is just, fair, good, and equal, what does that say about the person that's opposing? Right. And so, while we have come a very, very long way, we still got a lot of ground to cover. We still got a long way to go.
Long way to go. And it just seems like I don't want to say, we're going backwards.
Sometimes it do seem like we're going backwards.
But it just seems like, the direction that we go in depends upon the person that we're following.
Right.
And to get a better understanding of that, now we have Trump in office. Mm-hmm. And since Trump has been in office, here come all this stuff. Yeah. All this racial stuff. Now racism was always there.
But
it's crazy.
It's heightened now. But it really, when you think about it, you can actually trace it back a little bit further with the election of Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. So that, to me, that's when I started to see and kind of feel that, like you said, race was, the race problem has always been here. But it was more, it seemed like it became more outward, started to become more outward when Barack Obama got in office, and then the residue of that is heightened now. Yeah. With the election of Trump and things like that, man. And to me, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I got it.
My personal feeling is I'm saying this. I don't understand, and maybe it's because of how my mother and father raised me. They raised me, my brother, and my sister to love everybody, just to look at people as people and things like that. So for me, growing up like that, we wasn't taught to hate anyone. We didn't have hate modeled by our mom and dad. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. No matter what your race, color, creed, and to this very day, I have friends of all nationalities. Yeah. I have Chinese friends. I have Indian friends. I have Caucasian friends. I have African American friends. I have Hispanic friends, Latino. I have friends of all nationalities. Went to a diverse high school, diverse college. And so for me, I really struggle with hating someone just because of the color of their skin. Right, when that person had nothing to do with why they were born that way. And, and I can have a better understanding of hate. Well, I don't want to use the word hate, but if that's the term you want to use in the context of race relations, or disliking somebody because you had a bad experience with a particular race. Now, we need to always understand that just because of your specific bad experience, it doesn't mean that all of that race is bad. You just had a particular bad experience with that particular race. But I can understand somebody starting there in terms of having a foundation for not liking or hating or disliking a race.
Right. Because now you have Trump in office and everyone's saying that he's this, that, and the third. And now you have all these people coming out following what Trump is doing.
Right.
When Obama was in office, I'm not gonna lie, things were a little quiet.
Right.
It was. You
talking about in terms of race relations?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't see, when Obama was in office, you ain't see nobody coming out with no tiki torches.
Right, I got
you. Ain't see that.
Right.
There
was a heightened race, but like you said, you didn't see that.
You didn't see it.
Yeah.
You didn't. Now, when Trump get in office, what happens? They come out with tiki torches.
Right.
You know,
it almost seemed like a regression back to the 60s.
They're coming out with tiki torches. They got this going on and they got that going on. It's like, what's going on?
Right. And and my whole thing is, okay, I'm an advocate of whatever you gonna be. At least don't be a hypocrite with it.
Right.
Don't be a hypocrite with it. Don't be a part-time. Right. Like, this gonna sound kind of maybe facetious or, out of place, but don't be a part-time racist.
Right. Now, here's the thing. When Trump...
let me finish the point, because my point is coming behind it. Let's say that you have somebody that hates all white people or hates all black people. All right. Let me start with the people, that may hate white people. Well, don't shake JJ Redick's hand for the 76ers. Because if you're a racist, don't be a hypocritical one.
Yeah.
If you hate all black people, don't take a picture with LeBron James.
Yeah.
Don't make an exception. And that's how hypocritical, racists tend to be. It's kind of like you make exceptions for like celebrities.
Yeah.
If you're a true racist, then you need to at least be consistent and don't be a hypocrite with it. Now, I'm not condoning it. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy within it. Because you see people who allegedly don't like black people, don't like white people, but yet you're taking pictures and shaking hands with celebrities of the opposite color. And I'm like, is something wrong with that?
Yeah.
Something wrong.
Because my whole thing is, now when Trump get out of office and somebody else get in office, what you gonna do?
Right.
And this person happens to love black people. What you going to do? Come out and start loving black people? You were just hating on us a year ago.
Well, I don't think that'll happen.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand your point.
It's like whatever's going, it's like they're followers. They're not leaders.
If there was a leader who opposed it, they would end up hating a leader. That's how that go. I mean, look at Lincoln, who, he was the one that signed away slavery and they ended up killing him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it just goes to show you that, that race relations in our country, we got a long way to go. Do I ever think it's going to go anywhere? No. And my premise for that is because when you're dealing with the heart of man, everybody's not going to have a change of heart in the world. Statistically, that's not going to happen. Probability says that's not going to happen. And there's always going to be someone that willfully wants to hate somebody, And I mean, take LeBron James. A few years ago, he had his house vandalized. They wrote nigger on his house, spray painted. Now, LeBron James ain't going to rob nobody. He's almost a near billionaire. Who pocketbook he going to rob? Why did he have to have that written on his house? And he handled it with a lot of dignity, a lot of class, talking about, race relations. But then the world gets topsy-turvy when people like LeBron James and Colin Kaepernick are using their platform to bring awareness, to bring attention. This is why. Because we still have not totally overcome. Yeah. So.
Yep. That's it right there. Yep. I mean, it's wow. It just makes you sit back and just say, wow.
Yeah.
Because every time you think that we're taking a few steps forward, it's always a few steps back in the opposite direction.
Yep. And it's unbelievable. And, but like I said, I'm an advocate of when something is constant and something is in place, and how do I take the power back so that I can be stable and consistent within myself and who I am, despite how other people may act, view me, view my culture, my race. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an advocate of taking the power back. So how do I what does my perspective need to be? My heart set need to be, and my behavior needs to be towards this racial issue, and, though you don't lack in terms of understanding and awareness, but at the same time, you can always say, hey, I don't have to act like that. I don't have to act like that. I don't have to be like that, so yeah. But nonetheless, it is Black History Month, and we're going to be bringing you guys inserts from African-American leaders, albeit Dr. Martin Luther King, so forth and so on, in honor of Black History Month. And Black people have been responsible for contributing a lot of greatness to society, to this world. We created the refrigerator, the water gun, the stop sign, the light bulb, the first blood transfusion, and the list goes on and on and on. And so we're going to be bringing, some information, some knowledge, some inserts in honor of Black History Month each week. And Nick kicked it off with Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah, we got some other stuff lined up for you guys too. Yeah. You're going to enjoy today's show.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, it's the Kevin and Nikee show on iHeartRadio. I'm actor Kevin D. Benton.
And I'm actress Nikee Warren.
And look, Nick, we are back in full effect.
Yes.
Yeah, we are back in full effect.
Yes.
So yeah, always excited to be back for another edition, another episode of the Kevin and Nikee show on iHeartRadio. Yeah, so we always got a lot to talk about, got a lot going on.
Yes.
So with that said, it's now time for the many adventures of Kevin and Nikee.
Yeah.
All right, so
you go first.
I'm going first. Well,
you go first.
We're always staying on the grind. Whether we're auditioning, submitting online and things like that, or just working. I like to say working while we're waiting to hear back, and just staying on top of lines and preparing for the roles that we do have upcoming. And so it's been I want to say pretty quiet in the forefront. It's been a quiet
week. It has.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet in the forefront, but we've been working while we've been waiting.
Yeah, working and waiting.
Yeah, working while we waiting, and so always trying to
say that real fast, 5 times.
Working while we waiting, 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 working while we waiting. Okay, all right, I got one for you since you want to throw that in. No, I want you to say unique New York 5 times real fast.
No, I can't do it.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
Faster than that.
No, that's as fast. Let me see you do it.
No, I know.
Unique I New York. Go ahead. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Unique.
You ain't making that the first one.
I messed it up.
That's all right. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, but other than that, man, just just excited about the things that we have coming up, and looking forward to it. So anything? Oh, the only other thing I think that's going on, we'll keep you guys posted. We filmed a movie in New York a few years ago called Every Time I Die. And Nikee and I played nurses in that movie. And it is headed for the worldwide premiere at the Cinquest Film Festival in San Jose, California in March. And so for our listening audience that are out in California, we're going to be keeping you guys posted about that in the surrounding West Coast area. Yes. Make it out to see this movie. It's a real, real good movie. You're going to really, really enjoy it. And, look for me and Nick.
Yeah. Look for your man. Look for your woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's been quiet, quiet, digging up into the scripts, getting ready to film, and taking time out to try to enjoy some movies, because we're actors, so our way of watching movies is not the same because we're always looking for angles. We're looking for that person looked in the camera, stuff like that. Yeah. And then, just trying to figure out what camera they used when they were shooting the film and studying body languages and different things like that. Yeah. So, as an actor, it's kind of it's kind of like, it's not difficult, but when you're watching a movie watch it. That person looked in the camera.
Right,
Look,
right,
watch it,
right.
watch. You know, so that's the exciting part of it.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like once you get into acting, man, you never see movies the same. And I agree with that. Just reflecting on, you know, how I used to watch movies and how I watch them now. You know, it is. And also, you know, we watch to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we watch seasoned veteran actors and actresses, and you know, you try to, you know, glean what you can and add it to your own style, your own flavor, your own personality, and things like that. So it is truly, definitely the actor's life. We're always growing, developing, working on our craft.
Yeah.
And, you know, just trying to get better every day. You know what I mean? Just trying to get better every day. So.
And if you guys have Prime Video, go to Prime and check out The Covington Witches. I play Carrie Covington, one of the matriarchs of the family, the head witch of the family, directed by Roz Carter, filmed by Roz Carter. Go to season 1, episode 1 is on Prime. Now it's about like 38 minutes. Check it out, and you will see me.
Was your eyes rolling back in your head?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I had to.
I
can't give it away.
Oh, you had to cast a spell.
I had to cast a spell.
Well, I think that's not giving too much away because witches
not giving too much. You know, witches cast spells.
So.
But yeah, go check it out. It's called The Covington Witches. And season 1, episode 1 is up now.
That's what's up.
Season 1, episode 2, we will start filming that in about a few weeks.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yes.
All right. So other than that, you know, like I said, just staying on the grind.
Yep, staying on the grind and, you know, just having fun, you know, working while we waiting and watching our stuff up on Amazon Prime.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what's up. All right.
All right.
So we're going to take a break?
Yeah, so we're going to take a break.
But before we do, we have a super talented guest.
Yes.
On the line.
Yes.
And we're not going to tell you who she is. Just we don't never reveal who they are.
Yes.
At the onset. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But she's very, 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 very talented. And you really are going to enjoy hearing about her acting journey. And she's a phenomenal actress. But we can say that she is a part of the multi-award winning
film
Delaware Shore. And a whole lot of other stuff too.
So she got a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, she got a lot of stuff. And we, you know what? Now that I think about it, we've been in some projects together too.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about it.
All right. So listen, don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. This is the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio. We're on iHeartRadio, but we all around the world. We'll be right back.
Just shoot for the stars. If it feels right, then aim for my heart. If you feel like it, take me away and make it okay. I swear I'll behave. You wanted control, so we waited. I put on a show. Now I'm naked. You say I'm a kid. My ego is big. I don't give a shit. And it goes like this. Take me by the tongue and I know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I don't need to try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you with them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves. Baby, it's hard when you feel like you're broken and scarred. Nothing feels right, but when you're with me, I'll make you believe that I've got the key. Oh, so get in the car. You can ride it wherever you want. Get inside it and you wanna steer, but I'm shifting gear. I'll take it from here. Oh yeah. And it goes like this. Take me by the tongue and I know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I don't need to try to control you.
your smile. Take control on me just for the night. But if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it. Nobody else can see this. So much to learn, I won't show you twice. Head to toe, ooh, baby, run it right. But if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it. Nobody else can see this.
And it goes like this. Take me by the tongue and I know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I don't need to try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you. With the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves.
I had to
Maroon 5.
I had to help out Maroon 5 because everyone said the Super Bowl was a bust.
I know. I was going to ask you that. I said Nick over here trying to save Maroon 5.
Trying to save them. They said it was a bust. Yeah. It was the boringest Super Bowl ever.
Well, I think, and I read a little bit. I read an article. I didn't read a lot of it. I just read a couple paragraphs, and they were saying that it was just like their performance was plain, it was safe. You know what I mean? Like he really didn't take much risk and things like that. And so the Super Bowl, you gotta let it all hang out.
You gotta let it all out. And they said, he even took his clothes off, and that still didn't help.
Right. Now that ain't help.
Didn't work.
If that ain't help.
Now if that didn't work, ladies. I don't know what to say.
But I said, as I'm sitting there, I said, Nick always trying to save Maroon 5.
I'm trying to save him.
But I like Maroon 5.
Maroon 5, Big Boy. Yeah. And what was the other one? Who's the other one who got up there too? Other rapper. I know it was Maroon 5, Big Boy, and I think it was Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Travis. Yeah. They
see,
tried.
we having a hard time remembering. That's how boring
it was. They tried. They tried.
Yeah, they tried. That was the boring bowl. I mean, that but like we said in sports.
I like that. The boring bowl.
It was the boring bowl. It was the boring bowl.
I love it.
But like I said, if you were a fan of defense, it was a low scoring game. But it was no excitement. It was like 3 and out. The other team ball. And you knew the Patriots were going to score eventually because it's like Michael Jordan. If he's missing, he's going to eventually make a shot. Mm-hmm. And the Patriots pulled it out. But we don't want to rehash old bones. But Maroon 5 featuring Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, maybe she should have came out.
Yeah, maybe she would have.
Everyone loves Christina.
Yeah.
She has a phenomenal story.
I heard it.
Yeah, she was picked on horribly.
I heard she was bullied. Yeah,
she was bullied horribly in school. And when she came out with that song, Genie in a Bottle, the table started to turn for her. And then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to hang around her because they didn't know she could sing like that. Right. That's what it was. So she turned her pain into singing. Right. And it was like, hold up.
Yeah. And you know what? And, I know when she was going through that circumstance, she didn't see the inspiration to everybody, on the back end of it. But it's one of those things that you got to be careful how you treat people. Yeah. You never know who you're mistreating and what they're becoming or who they are. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, that sounds like my job.
That's why you got to treat people with kindness.
You never know who they are. Yeah.
Who they are.
And what they're becoming.
And you never know that these people can be the people that the Lord put in position to bless you. Right. So you're treating them nasty. Yeah. You miss your blessing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to miss your blessing. So you got to treat people with love and kindness and respect because you never know who they know, who knows somebody, who knows somebody that can put you on, but you messed up.
And you know something? I mean, like I said, I do all kinds of studies, doctrine, theological, psychology. Like I'm just information driven because I want to ever be learning and, developing holistically with intellectually being, of course, one of them. And, from a doctrinal and theological standpoint, anytime like Jesus asked people to do stuff, it always took faith.
Yeah.
So let's say you got two people, one doesn't like one. It's going to take some faith to become that person's friend.
It is.
But most people don't get there. So like you said, they miss their blessing.
They miss your
Because if it was that easy, the divide wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe, and I'm just stating, I'm not saying in all situations, could it be the very person you don't like on your job or wherever, that's the one that God wants to use to help you?
I ain't gonna say all that.
See, here you go. You're going to miss your blessing.
No, because you got some crazy people on your job.
Oh, yeah, I do. I ain't going to lie.
I don't know about my job, but your job.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I do. I ain't going to lie.
No.
I'm not going to lie. But see, I look at them like the person, like the people that was treating Christina bad. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't go to work telling all my business.
Yeah.
So, like, they don't know a lot about me in terms of acting and how accomplished I am. And, I just continue to let them judge me.
Yeah.
But, then, like I said, they're going to be seeing me on the big screen regularly. Yes. They're going to be seeing me on TV regularly. And that's the guy we were, treating bad and all that old stuff. And so I know my Christina Aguilera testimony is coming. It's coming. It's on its way. Yep. So I'm encouraged from that standpoint. But anyway, we got a special guest, guys, who y'all are going to enjoy hearing about her journey. And we just want to give you an idea who we have. We have no other than Miss Sharyn Pak Withers. She has been an on-air talent for about 15 years. Her journey began through the world of fitness when she hosted the TV show Bringing Fitness to You. That led her to doing about 6 or 7 fitness videos, and she was a regular fitness segment contributor for Good Day Philadelphia and other Comcast shows. Nice. Starting in 2007, she began producing art and craft instructional videos, 10 in total. And this is where Sharyn really learned the business, writing her own copy, working on set design, putting together the shot lists, and of course, on-air talent. She used to be a hairdresser, so she also does her own hair and makeup. And that's, you need that in acting.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Not everybody can.
That's right. You can't let everybody do your makeup.
You cannot.
Yeah. But her roster of roles, and she has a very, very decorated resume. But her roster of roles and characters include, but are not limited to, historical women in documentaries, wife, judge, nurse, doctor, politician, patient, mom, grandmom in movies, commercial TV shows, print ads, and she even does comedy skits, radio spots, you name it. She does it and much, much more.
You name it.
She's great with the teleprompter as well as improv. And Sharyn has some dazzling comedic timing. Just ask her. So just to read some of the projects that she's been in, Heroes of the Street, where she played Holly Racine, 2015, The Crucible, How Norman Works in a Box. She played in Choices, of course, Delaware Shore, which we're going to talk a little bit about tonight. The Funeral, Brotherly Love, Urban Trinity, the story of the Catholic Philadelphia. I was in that as well. Cocoon. She played in Hyde, and she was the Judge Yates in Where's Daddy?
Wait a minute.
Rel Dardell.
She was in Cocoon?
Cocoon, 2015. She played Kathleen Kelly as Sharyn Pak Withers. Now, when you play yourself, you're nice. But anyway.
I love Cocoon.
Yeah, no question. But she played in Where's Daddy, the documentary by
Friend to the show, Rel
Dardell. And she played also in the fugitive slave trial. And you can even see this video in Center City, Philadelphia at the Visitor Center on 5th and Market.
Nice.
We have none other than Miss Sharyn Pak Withers.
She get the bell. She get the bell.
Thank you, Kevin and Nikee.
You're so welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, for starters, thank you so much on behalf of Nikee and I and the Kevin and Nikee Show for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the show and share with our listeners and share with us. So we always start by displaying our attitude of gratitude to our awesome guests.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen.
So
let's jump right on into it.
Jump right on into it. You got all that awesome stuff on your resume. I mean, and you got much more than that going on. So tell our listeners a little bit about how you got started.
Okay. Well, I was in the fitness business for about 26 years, and my knee went out, and I had to figure out what I was doing next. And I kind of looked around, and so I had not been an actor in my younger years.
Okay.
I'm 57 years old right now, so I've been doing this about 5 years.
Okay.
As an actor, my fitness stuff, my on-air, making videos. I've been doing that for a lot of years. But straight acting, learning other people's lines, and doing other projects other than my own, that's only been the last 5 years.
Nice.
And it's something I enjoy doing.
Nice.
And I just want to tell you, I mean, you guys gave me a really great build-up. I want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't think it's so much my talent as much as I am a hustler.
I got you.
I'm working.
I like that.
And directors can depend on me.
Yes.
Because they know when they hire me that I'm going to show up on time, know my lines, hit the mark, and come with 5 different variations on the character. So if they don't like my first choice, I have other choices for them to pick from.
Awesome.
And that's what actually happened when I played in the movie Where's Daddy?
Yes.
With Scott Dennis and Rel Dow. You were talking about that. So I was the mean judge.
Right.
In the credits and whatnot, I'm the judge yelling at people.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure how they wanted it. So I actually showed up, and my first choice was nice judge.
Okay.
I wanted to be the nice lady. But that's not what Rel and Sky wanted.
Got you.
Wow.
So I had that, and so I was able to give them what they wanted. And
Nice.
I never argue with my directors. Like, they have a vision. I'm a piece of the pie that's going to help them create, and that's what I did.
Awesome.
You know what?
You know, that was very, very profound and powerful what you're sharing. Because it, like, I like how you started it off. You said, well, it's not about, my resume and being the most talented, and you went into all these professional attributes about you that make you a reliable actress, a dependable actress. You talked about, hey, my part is just a small piece of the pie that goes into the bigger scope of what the director's trying to do. Yeah. And I must say, Nikee and I, we saw the documentary, Where's Daddy? You did a phenomenal job. You kind of remind me that judge on TV. Is it Judge Million? What's the lady? She's a tough judge. And you kind of even look like her. Not just Judy. Oh man, I can't remember.
Oh, I know who you mean. I know exactly who you mean. I don't remember.
Yeah, she's the Latino judge. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the Latino judge. And I watch her regularly, but she is a tough judge.
With the blonde hair. She got blonde hair?
She don't really have, she doesn't have blonde hair.
No, like brunette.
Yeah, she got brunette.
Okay.
Well, I can't remember her name. I know it's slipping my mind, but you kind of reminded me of her so much. And it's just, and you did a phenomenal job. And, as, we're sitting there watching, it's like, wow, she really reminds me of that judge.
Yeah, she did.
To kind of hear the behind the scenes that, this was a variation of the judge that you're going to play. It's just awesome.
But you know what? I want to, Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to give you another piece of trivia. So in that scene in Go Daddy, Where's Daddy? When I'm the judge, I'm sentencing Toby Gaddison.
Right.
I love Toby Gaddison. Toby Gaddison has been my acting coach. He's a mentor.
Nice.
He's someone I absolutely adore. And I had to scream at him like a fishwife and sentence him to prison. The tears are rolling down his face. And I had to be really, really mean to him.
Wow.
And the only way I got through that scene, I had reading glasses. Now, if anyone out there has reading glasses, you can't see past 5 feet.
Right.
He was about 20 feet away. So in that scene, I have reading glasses pushed all the way up on my face, and I'm screaming at him through reading glasses because I can't see him.
Gotcha.
And that time I was able to do that.
Gotcha.
Because he is the sweetest, kindest, nicest man, and it broke my heart.
Right.
See what I had to do.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's how I got through it.
I hear you.
Reading glasses.
Okay.
But you know what? I want to talk about that a little bit because she says she has 5 different characters, in her back pocket for that one person.
Right.
And so, some actors, when you give them an adjustment, they can't even make the adjustment to bring the character out a different way. So talk a little bit about how you're able to do that.
Rehearsal.
Okay.
Rehearsing lots of things. Delaware Shore, in the movie Delaware Shore, My character is Regina, and I am a Holocaust survivor. I play a character much older than myself. I have a gray wig and no makeup.
Okay.
So you can see all my stunt talents, and no vanity with that role.
Right. Absolutely.
And without giving away the plot of the movie, I certainly don't want to do that. I have to go on and describe the horrors that were committed against me as a young girl in a concentration camp. And so there's many levels of emotion that can go with that. Some people after 6 decades are numb.
Yeah.
Other people cannot shake horrors. I mean, you can't imagine. And some people can never, ever shake those horrors, even 6 decades later. And so when I brought that role, when I was working on that role, I rehearsed everything from psychological numbness and just a woman who goes through life to someone who pierces her soul every single day.
Wow.
And then all those shades of gray in between. So when I showed up to perform, Raghav Perry, the director, there were points he said, crank it up a little bit. There was other points he said, no, bring it down. It's too much. And I was able to do that.
Okay.
Because especially when the camera's on close-up.
Right.
Sometimes emotional scenes, if you're struggling to hold the tears back, is more hard gut-wrenching than actually watching somebody cry.
Right.
Watching somebody, watching the pain of somebody holding it in sometimes is harder to watch.
Absolutely.
So there's lots of ways. So I just came up with 3 different ways on my head, how to go about playing it. And that, because sometimes the director doesn't know, he thinks he or she thinks they want it one particular way, and then as an actor, if we bring something else, they're like, oh, right, let's try that. And I've had that where they'll say, play it this whole other way, and I'll see what it looks like in editing. If it works else when I go to edit it. We'll just take it as an extra scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Well, we saw the movie. It was a great movie. Just very, very thankful to be a small part of it. But watching your part, you played that part. You did a fantastic job playing your part, because you didn't come off like you were talking about the weather as you were talking about the pain and the horror. Like that was displayed in your stillness. And I want to talk about that stillness. That was because, like you said, it was a close-up. That was displayed in your stillness. That was displayed in your facial expressions. And, and even though you were still, it was still displayed in your body language as well. And that conveyed and permeated through the screen. And then, of course, on the heels of your scene, they started flashing back to some of the actual footage, which really reinforced your scene, which I thought was a very important scene. Because it seemed to me that the theme was that you said was never forget.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, as a little aside, I am Jewish, but my family got out of Europe in time. My family all emigrated to the United States in the early 1900s, and I think by 1919, the last of them had left Europe.
Okay.
And so our family doesn't share this story. I know people who are concentration camp survivors.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, I don't know if and so one of the things I thought of doing was putting the numbers on my forearm. No one thought of that. And because I started really thinking about, and because I remember going to family parties when I was a teenager, and people's grandparents would have the numbers on their arms.
Wow.
Because they were young enough that they were camp survivors.
Wow.
And so that was a piece of the character. When I thought about who is this woman, and she would have been tattooed. She would have been tattooed with the numbers.
Yeah. Wow.
So let me ask you, and maybe you kind of already alluded to it. As someone who is Jewish, what was it, and kind of having some connectivity to the storyline. And of course, you're playing a character. A lot of time people talk about slavery. They talk about 9/11, all of which were horrific narratives. What was it like to be able to be a part of a Jewish narrative, being Jewish and having a connectivity with, Holocaust survivors, whether it was in your family and things of the sort?
Actually, where I connected, I lost my own mother 31 years ago, but the character I played was born 2 months after my mother.
Oh,
the character I played was my mother's contemporary.
Okay.
And all I kept thinking was, if my grandparents hadn't gotten out of Europe when they did, I probably would be telling my mother's story.
Wow.
And that's what hit me. That's what hit me. Like if it wasn't for my grandparents, all 4 sets of grandparents, like seeing the writing on the wall, and getting out in time, this would have been my story. And this would have been my mother's story.
Wow.
Because she would have been the right age. She was in 1929. That's when my character was born, and that's when my mother was born.
Wow.
1929. So,
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's a lot of people.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we appreciate you, kind of giving, us and our listening audience kind of like this behind the scenes exclusive, information. And, it just goes to show you that you never know what goes into a scene or, what a person is bringing to the scene. And one thing I do like about acting is that we can channel our good, bad, and ugly experiences into characters. We can draw from those to, I guess what I want to say is that they have some kind of purpose and use as an actor or an actress. They can be used.
Sometimes it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough to be able to do that. So how did it make you feel doing that, telling that story, and how did it make you feel?
Exhausted.
I got you.
It was emotionally draining. I also do comedy,
Uh-huh.
and what I like about, because you need something else. Like that heavy hitting drama, and having to tell a story of horrors, of concentration camp horrors, and then rehearsing it 6 different or 5 different versions of explaining my horrors, and truly getting into the character and realizing my mother's contemporary and all this other stuff, and working on it for months really drained me.
Yeah.
And I have to give a shout out. Actually, one of my acting friends, Jesse Bradley, he was a acting partner, and he played opposite me in acting class as I was rehearsing these scenes. So he sat through and listened to me do that dozens of times. So I got to give a shout out to Jesse Bradley.
Shout out to Jesse!
Yes.
For having to take it in, to listen and not, and play opposite.
Absolutely.
Somebody telling that story.
Wow.
Yeah.
That could have been easy.
Yeah. We've of course interviewed other cast members from Delaware Shore, and I think everyone at some point has said, especially with the characters that required more emotionally, that it was an emotionally draining experience because, as an actor and an actress, we're still the person at the end of the day, and we invest emotionally. And if we have any experience or connectivity with the character, it takes more out of us and things like that. And so, there definitely is an emotional investment. And my question would be, afterwards, how would you kind of bring yourself back to being Sharyn, the happy, comedic, person that was able to maybe let that go the best way you could? Like everybody, some people listen to music, some people may watch comedy. What was your technique to, with such a strong, emotionally draining character that required a lot? How did you come down from that?
Okay, well, to get into character, I had a wig, I had thick black stockings, I was dressing like an elderly woman. I was bent over, I had a cane, I had a lot of props around me. So when I was done rehearsing, when I was done doing the character, I would take the props off, and I felt that to be freeing.
I got you.
Okay. I am removing this because it was almost like a shroud.
I got you.
Because she's not, I come in and tell a sad story and somehow bring a sense of relief to other people. I don't know what I do for myself, but I help other people.
Right.
When I come in. Well, yeah, because I realized because it was really such an intense character, and I can't thank Raghav enough. Raghav Perry, the director, for giving me a chance and really letting me play this character, because it was the biggest character played, the most emotional scene I've had, and he trusted me. He trusted me with it, and I really am appreciative of that.
Yes.
I had to learn how to remove myself from the character, because that would just take over your life.
Yeah,
like you start owning it. Yeah, and that's not healthy.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, we hear a lot of actors. I'm trying to think of the guy who played Lincoln, a gentleman. I can't think of his name. But anyway, there's lots of actors that really get immersed, and they lose weight, gain weight, and it takes over their whole physical being. And it's like, I don't know how often I could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, one of the characters that come to the top of my head, Heath Ledger, rest in peace, Heath Ledger, who played the Joker. They said that even when they would yell cut, he would still be in character as the Joker, and it was really creepy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we really have to be careful to take care of our well-being, our mental, emotional well-being, getting immersed in these intense characters and things like that. So this is definitely good information, This is awesome. This is definitely good information for us as actors and actresses, how to take care of yourself, because once again, we're still the vessel that's being used to play these characters, and our job is to be the best believable us. And the best way that we can do that is, like you said, get into the character, get into the mindset, get into the emotion, get into the behavior of that character. The only thing is, when it's over, how do we come back out? You got to come back out. Yeah, absolutely.
You got to come back.
Absolutely. That's good information. Yeah. So
I think about,
okay, I'm sorry.
One of the roles I've always wanted to play is Vicodin Baka Mom.
Okay.
A real mess of a mom. And it's like, you like figure out what the costuming is going to be, so that when you're done being, drunk and drug addict mom, then you can take off the costuming, because you don't want to live as that character. Right. Or prostitute or whatever. Like, you don't want to be living that. You have to figure out what are the, Jack Lemmon used hat and a lot of his characters, and because he would put the hat on, and then that would be the character.
Gotcha.
That would be who he was.
Got you.
And that's what he used.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what was it like being a part of Delaware Shore, this multi award winning film? It had Oscar buzz, consideration, contention. Yeah. What was it like being a part of that? And I definitely want to give a shout out to the super talented director, Raghav Perry, for, like you said, giving all of us an opportunity. Michelangelo Rodriguez, who wrote the book, and that the movie became. And I definitely got to give a shout out to the whole entire cast and crew and production team who worked so hard. But what was it like being a part of a movie that had Oscar buzz, Oscar contentions? They put the Oscar, the 347, and your name was up there, Sharyn. And they had Dinner Thieves was above ours. Yep. And Death Wish with Bruce Willis was below. And Death Wish was before, above ours, right? Then it was Delaware Shore. Yeah. Then it was Dinner Thieves, something like that. But my name was up there. I mean, and it's got Oscar contention. Right. What was that like, seeing that?
What's interesting is, I met Raghav. And he offered, I auditioned, he offered me the part, and I don't think about that stuff. My job, I looked at it that it's my job, that I'm going to come in with this great character, many variations on this one great character, and I just played my scene opposite Emily Hill. Right. Okay. I played it next to Played Tasha, Emily. And, yes. And so Emily and I played the scene off of each other. And that's the only person I worked opposite.
Right.
Because, like, if I wasn't needed on the set, I didn't show up to the beach. I didn't show up to the different houses and whatnot where they shot the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I just came in for my one scene.
I got you.
So I didn't work with anybody. I wish I could have worked with Emily. And that was cool. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it was good.
You were so humble and so professional. You know what I'm saying? Now listen, maybe I need to rephrase it.
Yeah.
So let me speak for myself. First of all, like when we I definitely appreciate your, your very humble approach to the movie. Because like you said, we only filmed our scene and we didn't get a chance to see other people's scene, but then we see it all come together when we see the movie. But we as actors, we're always looking for opportunities. When we get involved with projects, we don't know where it's going to go. We don't know how far it's going to go. But with Delaware Shore, which kind of took a life of its own, and I think it was one that none of us anticipated, maybe not even Raghav, it makes the 347 finalists in contention for Oscars. And I know for me, to see my name up there, it was very, very surreal. I mean, I didn't anticipate it happening. When I saw the post, I was just as shocked and surprised as anybody. But it was just very, very surreal to see your name on the same page with Bruce Willis and 50 Cent and Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler. And so that's what it did for me. And it was just, it makes you thankful, it makes you humble, it makes you grateful to just having been given the opportunity to be a part of it.
She probably had her hallelujah shout.
Yeah. So you sure you didn't cut a step and dance when you saw your name? I'm just being funny. Yeah, I hear you.
So I actually met Raghav Perry, the director, about 4 years ago.
Okay.
For the premiere of a short he did called Bar Study.
Bar Study, yeah.
I gotta tell you, Bar Study. I gotta tell you, it's brilliant. It was brilliant. So I'm kind of working the story backwards, but so I was scheduled to be on a student film. I was going to help a kid out and be on a student film. This was 4 years ago. And in the meantime, and I promised them I'm going to do it on a Saturday. Well, I get a call from the top casting agent in Philly who says that they have M. Night Shyamalan is doing something, and for the same day as that kid's movie, M. Night Shyamalan wants me.
Oh, wow.
And I had promised the student filmmaker. It was last minute. I didn't want to let him down. So I told the casting agent that I couldn't work for M. Night Shyamalan.
Wow.
And the next day, the student late cancels on me.
Oh.
And leaves me screwed.
Oh, my stars.
M. Night Shyamalan, my ship had sailed. And I was so bummed. I mean, I'm finding this out at 4 a.m. the day I'm waking up to make call time and, oh, sorry, we'll have to make it another day. So, well, that taught me two things. And one is I don't do student films anymore because they get in the way of what I really should be doing. And two, never turn down M. Night Shyamalan.
Right. That's what I was going to say. M. Night call.
I was sitting over here like,
oh no.
M. Night? Oh, no.
Yeah.
I gave somebody my word. So anyway.
I got you, but we appreciate that.
So I'm so bummed, and I said, you know what? I have to do something really cool tonight. Like I said to my husband, I got it, and he's like, whatever you want to do, I'll take you wherever you want. And what we did, we wound up, I said, you know what? Some friends of mine are going to be in this movie. The movie premiere tonight. It's called Bar Study.
Right. Okay.
So my husband and I, from a Philly suburb, we drove to Delaware to see Bar Study. And we were the only people that weren't family. Because Raghav looks at me and he's like, how come you're here? Like, what are you doing here? There's no family. And I tell him the story. And he's like, oh, maybe for your next movie, I'll be in your next movie. He's like, yeah, okay, we'll see. And what do you know? And that's how I met Raghav.
Wow.
I found out I wasn't in an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So we were like, oh, I can't believe it. I knew what he was capable of. I knew what Raghav was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had seen his previous stuff. I knew he was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Wow.
I knew he was a storyteller. I knew he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I'm blown away by the recognition. I think the movie has won 24 awards.
Yeah.
So I'm blown away by the volume. But I'm not that surprised that he did such a phenomenal job.
Right.
Because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had a chance to see Bar Study, and it was phenomenal. And that too is a multi-award winning short film. Leanne Billings is in it. It's got an awesome cast. Yep. Kevin Ostra's in it. And to the best of my knowledge, it was a couple more actors from Delaware Shore. James Robinson is in it. James Robinson Jr. is in it. It was a phenomenal movie. And like you said, Raghav does phenomenal work. And, you know, me and Nikee talked about this when we were on our way down to Slaughter Beach to film our scenes. You look at the narrative, you look at the cast, you look at the director, you look at the storyline, and you just get that feeling. And I remember telling Nikee, you know, I just feel like this movie, Delaware Shore, is going to go far. I just got a good feeling about it. And I told Nick, I said, anytime Raghav want me to film A-roll, B-roll, C-roll, D-roll, I'm going to be there because this movie is going to go far. And lo and behold, like you said, I mean, between the awards that it has won, including Best Ensemble, which includes all of us, you know, it's just been an amazing ride. It's just been an amazing ride, and the ride continues.
Yes. But you know what? I gotta go back because this is getting to me.
Okay.
So you could you call the person back and say, hey, I'm available? You know, I'll do the role with M. Night. You couldn't do that?
Oh yeah, it was 4 a.m. At that point, it was 4 a.m. because I was waking up for call time.
Oh.
I left a message on their voicemail, like in case you still need me.
Right.
Oh, snap.
My ship had sailed. You know what? Lesson learned.
Yeah, that's a huge lesson.
You know, and so anyway.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know, and man, that's because I'm gonna tell you straight up. I have thought about going to the Sixers game and holding up a sign saying, M. Night, please cast me, because you know he goes to the Sixers games all the time. Please cast me. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, back to your scene for Delaware Shore. Like I said, it was a very, very pivotal scene because it helps the phenomenal actress who plays Tasha, Emily McKinley Hill. During that conversation, she comes to this realization, and you guys' scene brings out one of the biggest challenges, and that is your story gives Emily's character Tasha an epiphany that maybe grandma was treating us this way because of all of the pain and suffering and trauma that she went through. And to the best of my knowledge, you begin to allude to this person you knew in the concentration camp named Agnes, which of course is their grandmother. And it turns out that the theme that comes out of that, or one of them, is can you overlook, not excuse, but move past how someone has hurt you to see their pain. Yeah. To the point where Tasha and Gallagher goes back to grandma while she's on her deathbed. Talk about that theme of being able, here's someone who has caused another person pain. And though Agnes' character, played by the awesome Miss Gale, did love Tasha and Gallagher, she's hurting them because hurt people hurt people. Yeah. And they were able to say, you know what? Let's go back. Yeah. If you could just talk about that, maybe it's like a twofold question: to hurt people, and then being able to not really excuse, because it doesn't excuse somebody hurting someone because you're hurting, but being able to forgive.
Yeah, I think what I do is I bring insight to the character Tasha. Yeah. Because up until now, she doesn't understand why her grandmother hates her. Right. And why does my grandmother hate me and hate my brother and hate my mother and hate us? And she doesn't understand where that hate comes from. Like I said, I don't want to give away the plot, but I come in, I drop my bombshell, I was like, ooh, well, that explains a lot. That explains why die. And then I think her epiphany is more empathy.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. She becomes empathetic. I wouldn't say pity, but empathizes with her grandmother because now she can kind of understand where her grandmother is coming from.
Yeah.
You know, what was the second question?
So about the hurt people, how hurt people, you know, in terms of Agnes' character, you know, she's hurting others because herself is hurting. And like, of course, back in that time, they didn't have like Dr. Phil and, you know, maybe the resource that we had. Yeah. So if you could talk about how, you know, that theme of hurt people comes into play as well.
Yeah. I mean, and that's exactly what happened. It's 2 generations of people abusing each other.
Yeah.
And that's where these children, Emily McKinley Hill and, I'm sorry,
James Robinson Jr. Yeah, plays Gallagher.
Thank you, James Robinson. Yeah, and they are second generation of this kind of hurt and anger, and what's the word? Like they are being used as when you get back at somebody, just as retribution. Right. For all these, like let's take it out on the kid.
Yeah.
Right.
My mother did to the mother, and the mother was doing to them, and it's this whole ugly cycle. And it isn't until Tasha meets Fanny Regina, like the actor, that it all makes sense.
Right.
It all falls into place.
Right.
And you know, does she forgive her grandmother? But you know, she understands it better.
Yeah.
She can understand it. She can empathize. And maybe she doesn't, you know.
Right.
It just isn't making sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were being abused by Agnes for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I would like to think if Tasha never met this character who was, you know, in the concentration camp and knew Agnes, they probably would have went on the rest of their lives not even going back to Agnes to, you know, reconcile with her and different things like that. So by Tasha meeting her, it just opened the door for some healing to come in because she was able to convince her brother Gallagher, let's go back, you know.
Right. Because, you know, because whether or not they actually, quote unquote, forgave her, you have to give them credit for going back. Because, you know, maybe had they not met Sharyn's character, maybe there would have been no going back. It wouldn't
have been no going back if they didn't meet her.
Here it is again. It brings out the importance of mentorship.
Yeah.
You know, how, you know, how mentors are able to, you know, I guess I want to say that even the negative experiences that we've been through in life can help someone else maybe perhaps avoid or maybe to glean from and learn from it. And that's kind of what I saw Sharyn's character do. And Regina was kind of like that mentor that gave her that epiphany. And like you said, Nick, had they not had that meeting, here she is writing, I think she was writing a book or writing some notes. And this, I don't want to say, I don't want to, maybe it was a divine, you know, connection that was made, something, you know, but it was a much needed conversation. And it was phenomenal. It was very moving, you know, intense, but moving scene, because that was the scene. And I have to admit this, that was the scene that had me walking back to the bus from New York. We saw the premiere in New York, challenging myself. Like, could I do what Tasha did? And when I was on my way back to the bus, I was like, nah, I can't do it. But I have grown since then. I'm open to change. I'm open, of course, to forgive and grow as a person. But on my way out that theater, I was like, I don't think I can do it today. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
I'm not going back tonight. You know what I mean? But I say that to say, Sharyn, that your scene, I mean, everybody did a phenomenal job, but that was a very, very impactful scene because it is a movie that brings about introspection. You're going to be forced to look inside and say, hey, how is my pain affecting me? How is it affecting people close to me? And the various different, you know, scenarios and situations that deal with our human existence, sometimes which is negative.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very, very powerful. Yep. Awesome. Well, Sharyn, you have been a phenomenal guest, and all our guests are phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your awesome story. You did a fantastic job in the movie, and we just want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing so many nuggets and so many insights. And me and Nikee, we always here taking notes because we just want to learn and grow too. And you said a lot of powerful stuff that I know that our listeners are going to glean from. But before we do, we always like to give our guests the opportunity to, if you want people to follow you, if you so desire, you want to put your social media out there. Maybe somebody wants to book you. Maybe M. Night will listen to this show and book you, Sharyn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I would like to promote my new book.
Okay, cool.
I have a book called 50 Monologues.
Okay.
Monologues and Scenes for Grown-Ass Women.
Nice.
It's available on Amazon. It's both a Kindle download as well as a hard paperback book.
Okay.
And it's for actresses who are looking for some great monologues, dialogues, and scenes. They're very female-centric, with powerful female characters, and a bridge for acting class.
Nice.
Love it.
Love it.
Fill the void in the market for finding great things to use in acting class for people over the age of 30.
Nice.
There you go.
That's it right there.
That's it right there. Y'all heard it here first on the Kevin and Nikee Show.
Yes.
Actress and author and much, much more. Comedian.
Yes.
Multi-talented Sharyn Pak Withers. Yeah, thank you so much, Sharyn, for coming on. Continued success and blessings to you. And you're going to get that M. Night. You're going to get that M. Night call.
Get that M. Night.
And we're going to be in the movie with you.
Yeah, how about that? We're going to be right with you.
We're going to be sitting right next to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nikee. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, take care.
Okay, thanks.
Good
All
night.
right, bye. Man, she was awesome.
Awesome sauce.
She was awesome.
That was great. Man, that was just great. I mean, I'm just kind of just thinking in my mind, just all the nuggets that were shared.
Yeah.
Man.
I like how she said that she has, for one character, she got 5 different ways to bring it out. And some people can't even take direction when the directors say, okay, give it to me a different way. And they can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make the adjustment here. And they can't make the adjustment here. She walking around with 5 different people in her back pocket.
But keep in mind, that was months and months of preparation before she got there. So that's what stuck to me. It was a lot of things that stuck with me, but that stuck with me too, because now
she gotta get it.
Yeah, she get the bell.
She get the bell. Yes, so she now, doing her homework, man.
Yeah, but you know what? And that's what I was going to say. You're hearing from a professional-minded, professional approach. The first thing she said, it's not always about being the most talented, but just knowing you're going to be wardrobe ready. Know your lines. Johnny on the spot. Take direction well. Be there on time. Like, sometimes these are things that's going to get you in the door or get you to roll. Other than, talent doesn't always take you to the top.
You know who she sound like?
Who that?
She sound like us.
That's right. We talked about it before.
Wardrobe ready. Johnny on the spot. Know our lines. Right. We are ready.
That's it. And I love that 5 angles of the different same character. And same
character, one character, she can deliver 5 different ways.
5 different ways.
That's freaking awesome.
It's promoting and producing something different in terms of each of the characters.
And she said she gave Raga 1 character. He's like, I'll do it another way. She said, okay, I got 4 more. I got 4 more.
What you need? You know what I'm saying? I got 4 more.
She got to get it again. She said, what you need?
I got 4 more. That's it. But listen, that helped me because now from here on out, I will have at least 2 or 3 renditions of the character.
I love it.
And it was so many things, man. But definitely you got to be able to take direction well.
You know what?
That's big.
You know what I would like to do?
What's that?
I would like to sit in a class with her and just watch her.
Yeah.
Just watch her deliver like all of her characters and watch her deliver those characters 5 different ways. I would love to do that.
But you know what?
I really would.
And I can see her teaching acting class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can definitely see her.
I would love to see her teach a class and
5 different ways to deliver.
Yeah, and show her students 5 different ways to deliver one character. Yeah. I would love to see her do that.
And I'm gonna say this to you. They say like you have Coca-Cola, Pepsi, things like that. They say it's one ingredient that separates you from everything else. Mm-hmm. That could be one class right there. Yeah. That could be one consistent rolling class. How to deliver the same lines 5 different ways. And we used to do that in acting class. Remember we was at Nikee's acting class? He would give us a line to say. He would say, now say it angry. Yeah. Now say it happy. Mm-hmm. Now say it sad. Yeah. So it kind of reminded me of that. How, if it was the boy went to the store, we had to say it angry. Yeah. We had to say it happy. Say it sad. And what we were trying to develop was different ways of being different characters.
Yeah, shout out to Aiken's Act.
Nikee Diller.
Teacher Jamal Bostic Smith.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that was a great interview.
And I'm telling you, the judge that she played, interview. It was a great interview. It was great. It was just, and it's real funny how we've interviewed a lot of the cast from Delaware Shore. And, of course, there's some overriding themes that's constant to the theme of the movie. But it's interesting to talk to different casts, and you can pull out something different.
Something different for all of them.
For all of them. This is great.
Though.
This is great.
I know her grandparents got some stories.
Yeah.
I know they got some stories. And just to sit underneath them and hear those stories, I mean, that's just crazy. I used to sit underneath my grandparents when they would tell stories. I would just sit there for hours and just let them talk.
And just listen.
So I know her people got some stories. Absolutely. I mean, to actually know people who got those numbers on the arm. Oh my God, that's crazy. Right. Yeah. That is crazy.
And I was happy for the Jewish community because it was a movie that talked about not forgetting them. Because like I said, a lot of times, of course, our narrative is slavery, and things like that. Yeah. And but what they went through was horrific as well.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And they got the mark to prove it. They got those numbers that on their arm to prove that. Right. That's just crazy. Yeah. To sit underneath them, and just hear, them tell their stories and the things that they have seen. I don't think I would be able to sit underneath them that long without going into tears because that was just bad.
It was definitely it was horrific, man. Bad. But if I can flip it to the positive, to the here and now, they are that speaks to the resiliency of the Jewish culture. Yeah. To be able to bounce back from that, man, it's just like, yeah. So, this movie Delaware Shore has just in-depth meaning, man, to what is so needed now in terms of the human condition. Because it shows us what humans are capable of. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it forces us to have to deal with it because it's put right there, right in front of you. It's great. It was great.
It is.
So I'm gonna be marinating. I'm gonna be marinating on all that information.
Everything she said.
It was
everything
good.
She
good
said.
Information.
Shout out to our special guest. That we had on our show today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, phenomenal. One more again.
She got the bell.
Now, this is crazy. We gave her 5 bells.
You gave her 5 bells? Okay.
I think we gave her 5 bells.
Well, she deserved it. Anyway.
She deserved them all.
All right. So we're
going to take a break. And when we come back, it's going to be time for news and sports.
The Scholars Professional Editing Firm consists of a specialized group of academic doctors, editors, and statisticians that keep doctoral candidates moving through the academic doctoral process by providing one-to-one group mentorship and all-inclusive editorial service that produce writing advancement that result in exponential movement. The scholars conduct line-by-line editing, proof, and copy editing, university-specific format compliance, and substantive done-for-you services on the following documents: doctoral thesis, dissertation, capstone projects, research studies, research proposals, research papers, and oral defense preparation and presentations. The Scholars Professional Editing Group keep you moving. And for more information on editorial service, our doctoral accelerated mentorship program, visit www.thescholarseditting.com, www.thescholarsedediting.com, or contact Dr. Hayes at 281-315-6053.
Everyone in the world has gone to bed one night or another with fear or pain or loss or disappointment. And yet each of us has awakened, arisen, somehow made our ablution, seen other human beings, and said, "Morning, how are you? Fine, thanks, and you?" It's amazing. Wherever that abides in the human being, there is the nobleness of the human spirit. Despite it all, black and white, Asian, Spanish, Native American, pretty, plain, thin, fat, vowed or celibate, we rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom just 'cause I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like suns and like moons, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just 'cause I laugh. As if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness. But just like life, I'll rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, naturally, there I go rising.
All right.
All right. Maya Angelou.
Yes.
And still I rise.
Still I rise.
And still I rise.
Yes. I remember that poem.
Yeah.
When I was a little girl. I remember that. Yes.
Powerful.
Yes.
Powerful. All right. So it's time for...
It's the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio. It's time for...
News and Sports. All right. It's sports. All right. So the NBA trade deadline... The 76ers acquired Tobias Harris from the Clippers for several players and picks. The days leading up to the NBA trade deadline are no time for sleep, as the Los Angeles Clippers and Philadelphia 76ers have proven. Just a few hours into Wednesday morning on the East Coast, the two teams made a big trade that would send Tobias Harris to the 76ers. Now here's what happened. The full deal sees Harris, Boban Marjanovic, and Mike Scott headed to the Philadelphia 76ers, with the Clippers acquiring Landry Shamet, Mike Muscala, Wilson Chandler, and a handful of picks. So they'll get the Sixers 2020 first-round pick, as well as the Miami Heat's highly coveted, unprotected 2021 first-round pick, which the Sixers obtained at the draft last summer. So in addition, the Clippers will get the Sixers 2021 and 2023 second round picks. This is a trade that will have huge ramifications around the league, both this season and moving forward. And for first of all, it gives the 76ers yet another high-level player. Harris is in the midst of a career year, putting up 20.7 points and 7.9 rebounds per game while shooting over 42% from downtown. Many felt he had a legitimate case to make the All-Star team for the first time in his careers. And what sources on ESPN are saying is that this team, the 76ers, new acquired team, is arguably the best starting five in basketball, and that's including the Warriors.
Nice.
All right. So in other news, we have Marquette versus Villanova. The Golden Eagles hand Nova its first Big East loss of the season. And I watched this game. It was a phenomenal game. Marquette led most of the game. Villanova had a late game rally in the second half, took the lead by 1. At one point, Marquette was up by 15 points, and Nova fought back, and it went down to the wire, and Nova could not pull it off. But it was a phenomenal game. But it was Marquette's offense, okay, namely Howard's offense, that put them in a position to steal a close win. In the first place, Howard scored 38 points on 13 of 24 shooting in the win. He and junior Sakar Anim accounted for the team's final 26 points, which spanned 16 minutes and 30 seconds of the game time. It's Howard's sixth 30-point plus point game of the season and third in 4 games. And so it was a great game, man. And then, last but not least, I watched Utah play UCLA. Mm-hmm. UCLA has Utah on the ropes the whole entire game. At one point, they were down 20, but Parker Van Dyke sunk a deep 3-pointer at the clock expired to lead Utah past UCLA 93-92 in a packed game on Saturday afternoon at Pauley Pavilion, presented by Westcom.com.
Wow.
It was great. I mean, I watched the UCLA game, mm-hmm. Utah game, mm-hmm. and you just saw the Utah team down 20. They were just chipping away. Mm-hmm. Let's chip away. Let's score real fast. Let's press. Hitting big shots. And it seemed to me that they had, of course, UCLA on the ropes. They were just trying to outlast them with their lead that was getting chipped away. And Parker Van Dyke comes down. I mean, with the last possession, hits a deep 3. I stood up and started jumping. He hit it at the buzzer. He hit it at the buzzer. He hit it at the buzzer. It was. So listen, beware the eyes of March Madness. It is drawing near. It is February, but March Madness is around the corner. Nice. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, I always get my bracket wrong though.
It always get messed up the first game.
Yeah,
the first round.
I always mess up my bracket.
It's always an upset the first round.
Every time I turn around, my stuff is all wrong. Yeah. I have to get a tutor.
You gotta get to You're not alone. You're not alone. Yeah. Because every year, what's happening is these smaller teams are getting big time players. Mm-hmm. And now it used to be a time years ago where those 16 brackets were just happy to make it to the tournament and play against a number 1 seed. Yeah. But now these 16 seeds believe they can go in and win and beat these top seeds. So that's what's happening, and you're starting to get upsets. You get upsets.
Yeah, the upset is me messing up my bracket,
and then you upset about it. After that. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that's some good stuff. So hopefully, prayerfully, I'll find a tutor and I'll get my bracket right this year. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm taking applications. We'll see. Right. Well, in news, sad news. Young and the Restless star Christophe St. John has gone home. Christophe passed away last week at the age of 52, and it's sad because he recently got engaged, and he was soon to be married to his third wife before he suddenly passed away, and she's just distraught. Yeah. She don't know what's going on. His body was discovered by one of his friends who stopped by his home just to check on him. And it says that Christophe, he was dealing with some personal issues. He lost his son Julian, and he could not cope with his son's death. And it says that, from his son's death, he had to receive like mental health treatments to help him cope with that. And it recently came upon 3 years of his son's anniversary. And so Christoph, he had to be hospitalized and placed under 72-hour psychiatric evaluation because he threatened to kill his dog. Now, Christoph, he was nominated 9 Daytime Emmy Awards for his role as Neil Winters on The Young and the Restless. And Shamar Moore, I remember this. I remember seeing it. Shamar Moore played his brother. And I remember that because I used to be heavy into it. And I remember Christoph, he played the doctor. And Shamar Moore was his brother. And I cannot remember the actress name who played his wife. She had gotten sick and she come up with a fever, and Christoph was like, okay, he gave her some medication that will help her sleep. He went to work, and in comes Shamar Moore, messed around on the girl's sick bed, slept with her because he was in love with her. I remember that. That was huge on The Young and the Restless. I remember that story.
You lose the focus.
No, I'm just telling my story. I remember this character. I remember.
I can tell by the way you explain it.
You know what? See how he do, y'all. See how he do. Okay. Now, he also received, he also was in Generations, and he received 2 nominations for his role when he was young. He was also in Roots, the miniseries. He was also in Bad News Bears and The Next Generation. He also worked on The Cosby Show. Remember that? Yeah. He worked on A Different World, and he also worked on Laverne and Shirley. Yeah. And they're saying that he's going to be buried next to his beloved son, Julian St. John, at Valley Oaks Memorial Park in Westlake Village. Very, 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 very sad. Very sad, man. Very sad.
It's one of them things where, life doesn't stop being life. Because you're a celebrity or well-known and or famous actor or athlete or rapper or, whatever. It's like life doesn't stop being life. Like we still have to, battle and deal with the issues of life, loss, trauma.
And he had a broken heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had a broken heart.
Yeah.
He had a broken heart. He loved his son. He had a broken heart. And he was having problems dealing with the fact that his son,
understandable.
Is not here, and that's understandable. Yeah. It's understandable. He loved his son, and they said that a parent should not have to bury their children. Yeah. It should be the other way around.
Right.
Well, in other news, I'm not to leave off of that.
Yeah. So our thoughts and prayers.
Our thoughts and prayers
go out to the families.
Yeah, family and the fiance. Yeah. They said she's still trying to figure out what is going on. Right. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family. But going from sad news to even sadder news, Liam Neeson, an actor whom I admired, he sits down with one of his friends, and she tells him about a time when she was raped by a person of color. Liam Neeson, he gets so upset that he goes on a rampage, and he goes and he tries to seek out a person of color just to shoot and kill them. Anybody. He says he said on Good Morning America that he was so angry, he drove for hours. He went over to a pub so that he can be approached by a person of color, and so that he can shoot and kill them. What kind of crap is that?
Yeah, it's just.
What kind of crap is that? And I'm gonna tell you, he had a movie premiere coming out. They canceled that.
Yeah.
They canceled that. So he had to have like a little party for it at his house. But they canceled that movie premiere because of what has happened. And not only that, but Spike Lee said that he will not cast him in any of his films because of it.
Right.
Because of it. And then we got Prada and Gucci. Prada comes out with this little chain that hangs on the purse of a black person with big red lips. And then Gucci comes out with this sweater that goes all the way up to the nose, and the mouthpiece is red.
Right.
The sweater is black, mouthpiece is red.
Right.
So it's like, then you want to issue an apology.
Right. The apology is always after the fact. And my thing is, in such a racially sensitive time, why would you even create something like that?
Yeah, why
like
would you do
I would
that?
like to believe that they would know going into, this thing that there's going to be some backlash.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure, and someone said it so perfectly. Where is your PR people?
Right.
That tell you, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. We can't put this out like that.
Right.
We got to do something different. Where's your PR people? That you're supposed to run things by before you come out with stuff.
Right.
Like, are you listening to them?
Right.
Or are you ignoring them because you're the top?
Right.
I just don't I just don't get it.
Right.
Now you want to apologize. And so T.I. is leading the X on no more Prada, no more Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we're going to stop wearing it.
Right,
we're going to stop buying it. So T.I. is leading that.
I got you.
He's leading the band.
I got you.
And them rappers, not rappers, but artists, period, entertainers, they love their
especially
their
Gucci.
labels.
Yeah.
Gucci?
Yeah.
Love Gucci.
Yeah.
Prada? Yeah. So no more.
Got you.
No more.
All right. So that was a lot. That was a lot to take in.
Yes, it was.
That kind of brought me down from my sports news.
I see, because you're over here like,
Yeah. So
we'll probably have some. Hey, we'll probably have some happy news. Next week.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. There's a lot going on, though. There's a lot going on.
It's a lot.
But anyway, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's going to be my favorite part of the show. We're going to find out what's bothering Nikee.
There's something I can give in exchange for everything you give to me. Read my mind and make me feel just fine when I think my peace of mind is out of reach. The scales are sometimes unbalanced, and you bear the weight of all that has to be. I hope you see that you can lean on me, and together we can calm the stormy seas. We love so strong and so unselfishly, and I tell you now that I made a vow, I'm giving you the best that I got, baby. Yes, I tell you now that I made a vow, I'm giving you the best that I got. Everybody's got opinions about the way they think our story's gonna end. Some folks feel it's just a superficial thrill. Everybody's gonna have to think again. We love so strong and so unselfishly. They don't bother me, so I'm gonna keep on giving you the best that I got, baby. They don't bother me, so I'm gonna keep on giving you the best that I got. Listen, baby, somebody understands you. Somebody give it to me. I stumbled my whole life long road on my own. Now and the weary mind is rested, and I feel as if my home is in your arms. My fears are all gone, I like the sound of your song, and I think I wanna sing it forever. We love is so strong and so unselfishly, and I made a vow, so I tell you now I'm giving you the best that I got. Listen, baby, I bet everything on my wedding ring.
so in love with you. This is your victory. Now, I know you didn't do this just to win an election. I know you didn't do it for me. You did it because you understand the enormity of the task that lies ahead. But my main message is to the parents of Trayvon Martin. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own. Among the fallen were also teachers, men and women who devoted their lives to helping our children fulfill their dreams. So our hearts are broken today. It's the idea held by generations of citizens who believe that America is a constant work in progress, who believe that loving this country requires more than singing its praises or avoiding uncomfortable truths. It requires the occasional disruption, the willingness to speak out for what is right, to shake up the status quo. That's America. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Facts, evidence, reason, logic, an understanding of science. These are good things. These are qualities you want in people making policy. Black, white, Latino, Asian, Native American, young, old, gay, straight, men, women, folks with disabilities, all pledging allegiance under the same proud flag to this big, bold country that we love. That's what I see. That's the America I know. I do have one final ask of you as your president. The same thing I asked when you took a chance on me 8 years ago. I'm asking you to believe, not in my ability to bring about change, but in yours. Yes, we can. Yes, we did. Yes, we can.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
I hear you.
Yes.
I hear you, man.
Yes.
I hear you.
Yes.
Nick over here, she over here, giving us these inserts, man, in honor of Black History Month.
Yes.
And, definitely phenomenal. And, hey.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. That's awesome. Good job, Nick.
A great president, and I'm able to see it in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. So we're going to keep the train moving. Choo-choo. It's the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio. We're on iHeartRadio and all around the world. And now it's time for my favorite part of the show. It's time to find out what's bothering Nikee. What's bothering you, Nick?
I'm just going to jump right into it. Parents, what are we teaching our children?
Mm-hmm.
What are we teaching our children? We cannot send our children to school and expect the teacher to teach them everything that we're supposed to be teaching them. It starts at home.
Mm-hmm.
It starts at home. You don't want your kids to be cussing? Stop letting them listen to music that got cussing in it.
Right.
You don't want your kids to be going to school acting crazy? Stop letting them watch crazy things on TV. It starts at home. It starts at home. Yep. It starts with you. When they get to school, they should be well taught. The teacher's responsibility is to teach them reading, writing, and arithmetic and some gym.
That's it.
Okay? That's it. The responsibility of the teacher is not to do your job.
That's right.
It is not to do your job. You are the parent. Mm-hmm. You have to take some responsibility about training up. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they're old, they will not depart. But we are teaching our children the wrong thing. So when they grow up, they're bullies. You know, they're bullies. They become grown-up bullies because we didn't teach them how not to be a bully at home.
Right.
Do you understand that part of the whole bullying system starts with your child?
Right.
And if you teach your child, hey baby, that's not right, don't do this, don't do that, and the third, they wouldn't go to school and be beating up the kids in school and then turn and grow up to be even bigger bullies.
Well, some of the parents is bullies, so that's where they get it from. You know what I'm saying? You know?
So you didn't learn nothing. So now you're not teaching your child anything. This cycle has got to end somewhere. Parenting needs to start with you. You can't be, saying that your child, oh, my son is a good son. And the whole time he got the butcher knife behind his back and ready to hack up somebody. Mm-hmm. Remember that commercial we were talking about with Jason's mother?
Right. Yeah, picture of Jason from Friday the 13th. His mom was hugging him. He got the butcher knife in his hands.
And the
captain said, not my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, we gotta do better. We have to do better with our children. Our children are modeling after us. And if we're not taking the time to sit down with them, teaching them how to read, helping them with their homework, they're growing up to be menace to society. Mm-hmm. And now, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, you better train them, parents. You better teach your children something, or the court system is going to teach them. And then you're going to have an even bigger problem. You're going to have an even bigger problem. And you do not want the court system to teach your child anything, because I'm telling you right now, they don't care about your kids.
They sure don't.
They do not care about your kids.
That's right.
They will take your child from you and stick your kid anywhere just to get them out of their face.
Yeah.
So listen, we got to take back our children. I saw a post on Facebook, and there was this young man. He had tattoos all on his face. Mm-hmm. He had 3 children. The other 2, I would say the older son looked like maybe like 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. Then he had a younger daughter. I'm gonna give her maybe 5. Then he had a little infant baby. I'll say that the little infant baby may look like 1. Mm-hmm. Okay, because she didn't look like she can talk just yet. And in all of the hands of these kids are guns. And he's saying, man, you got to teach them now, man, how to protect themselves, man. I'm like, come on. See, this is the problem right here. Everybody, putting up their posts. DHS, where's DHS?
Ooh.
Where's who? Somebody need to call DHS and show them this video. Okay. And then what?
Right.
And then what?
Yeah, that's probably not going to solve the problem.
Yeah. The problem starts with him.
Yeah.
The problem is him. The father. And the mother who's holding the phone tape recording it. Mm-hmm. So the I'm not going to say allegedly the mother is holding the phone recording it. So, and felt as though it was okay enough to put that up on Facebook. Mm-hmm. What did you think you were going to get some good comments off of it? Come on.
Yeah, and what's scary is the mindset. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the mindset such that I'm going to record this and put it on Facebook because I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
That's even more scarier than what's being said to the child.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The fact that these adults, these people who are supposed to be, mentors, they don't see anything wrong with this. And it's just sad.
It's horrible. It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, it really is.
Parents,
sad.
we got to do better. So the title of What's Bothering Nikee, if I can give it a title, parents, what are we teaching our children? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are we teaching our children? Yeah. That's it. That's all I got. We got to do better.
Yeah.
Got to do better.
And the thing about it, what I've learned in my life is you can't give to somebody else what you don't have.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lacking in parenting skills in this day and age. You know what I mean? We're dealing with a different time, different generation. And I remember as I was getting older, we went through this phase where parents were going up to the school and defending their kids when the teacher was trying to tell them, stop swinging from the chandeliers on your cell phone. And what I began to see is that anytime you defend a child when they're wrong or not doing the right thing, you reinforce that behavior. And the child begins to say, oh, you mean I could swing from the chandeliers or the lights in my class, talk on my cell phone, and cuss the teacher out, and my mom and dad is going to come here and defend me. So you think they're going to stop or change that behavior? No. And so that's kind of what we're seeing now. We're seeing negative behavior continuously being reinforced. And it's just sad.
Yeah, and it really is sad. It really is sad. So, that's what I got. That's what I got. That's the title. Parents, what are we teaching our children? I
got you. That's good stuff, Nick. That's good stuff. I mean, it brings us back to the household, the home. What are we teaching our children?
Yeah, we don't sit down and eat with our children no more.
Yeah, that generation is
we don't sit at the table. Now it's
as
just
a family.
We don't cook.
Right.
We don't cook.
Right.
A good home cooked meal. Home cooked meal is McDonald's.
Yeah.
Not saying there's anything wrong with McDonald's. I like the nuggets myself. But that's not a home cooked meal for our children.
Right.
We gotta do better. We gotta do better.
I got you.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Okay. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, it's going to be time for my favorite part of the show, Kevin's Corner.
Yeah. When I get chills at night, I feel it deep inside. Without you, yeah. Know how to satisfy, keeping the tempo right. Without you, yeah. Pictures in my mind on replay. I'm gonna touch the pain away. I know how to scream my own name, scream my name. I love me, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Hey, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Can't love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Anytime, day or night. I love me, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Hey, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Can't love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Anytime when I lie, I love me. I'll take it nice and slow, feeling good on my own without you. Yeah, got me speaking in tongues. The beautiful it comes without you. Yeah, I'm gonna put my body first and love me so hard till it hurts. I know how to scream out the words, scream the words. I love me, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Hey, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Can't love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Anytime, day or night. I love me, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Hey, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Can't love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Anytime when I lie, I love me. Yeah, I know how to scream my own name, scream my name. Ooh, I love me, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Can't love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Anytime, day or night. I love me, gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Gonna love myself, no I don't need anybody else. Can't love myself.
listening to the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio and so many more. All right. I love that.
Yeah.
I love me. I love myself, so I don't need anybody else. I love me. I love myself, and I don't need anybody else.
I love
Scream my own name. I love
I like that. Listen, we're gonna be playing some uplifting music. You got, listen.
I love that.
You gotta love yourself, man. You gotta love yourself.
Love you. Listen, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
If nobody tells you you're pretty, nobody says anything. Like Kev said, you take your left hand, put it over your shoulder, pat yourself on the back, and tell yourself.
That's right.
Encourage yourself.
You gotta love yourself.
Love
man.
yourself.
You
Love yourself. Stop waiting for people to validate you. You validate yourself. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready. You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready?
I'm always ready to go.
All right. So now it's time for my favorite part of the show, Kevin's Corner.
All right. So listen, we're going to be moving into just some practical steps that we can use to apply to our lives so that we can start to change our thinking. Because so whatever man thinketh in his heart, so is he, or so is his or her behavior. So if you want to change your behavior, you got to start with changing the thinking process. And so you heard the song, it was about loving yourself.
Yes.
You have to love yourself. And part of loving yourself is thinking highly of yourself. Not in the sense of arrogance, not in the sense of pride, but in the sense of having good, positive, healthy self-worth. And that's what we're dealing with. We're going to deal with raising our self-worth, but we got to change the thinking.
Yes, we do.
And sometime on Kevin's Corner, I talked about the 21-90 rule. Well, it takes 21 days to, change a habit.
Yeah.
So, hey, I want everybody to take this self-worth lifting challenge for the next 21 days. I got some principles that I want all of us to try to apply so that we can start thinking differently about ourselves. All right.
Nice.
But just to recap, all right, we're dealing with insecurities. That's what we've been dealing with. Insecurities, and how we can change our insecurities about ourselves. Mm-hmm. And every human being is insecure about something because we live in an imperfect, falling world. We're not perfect. We're fallen, and we've all been hurt by something or someone in our lifetime. And with that said, it can build, insecurities. We just want to help it stay out of the unhealthy realm of insecurities and in that healthy realm, if you will, and deal with those. All right. But there is an internal dialogue that accompanies our feelings of insecurity. This is called the critical inner voice. Okay. The critical inner voice is formed out of painful early life experiences in which we witness or experience hurtful attitudes towards us or those close to us. And as we grew up, we unconsciously adopted and integrated this pattern of destructive thoughts towards ourselves and then others. So we try to change our thinking towards ourselves and watch what happens. Our thinking towards others is going to get better because we project onto others out of the foundation of who we are.
Yep.
So you have a healthy self-worth and self-value because you see other people in positive lights and healthy ways as well. So what events or attitudes shape this inner critic? The experiences we have had early in life can be at the root of our insecurities as adults. So the big question is, we always been told what we should do, and rarely do people help us or tell us how we should do it. I mean, that's the arguments of kids and teenagers. You're telling me what to do, but tell me how to do it. So I'm just going, not that I know it all, not that I have it all, but I'm just going to just give one principle a week that we can apply to our lives to begin the process of changing our thinking or insecurity. So how can I overcome insecurity? So once we have a better sense of where our insecurities comes from and the profound influence it is having on our lives, we can begin to challenge it. All right. So then once we know where it comes from, we can start by interrupting the critical inner voice process. All right. So the first step, what I want to do is, first step we have to do, and this takes courage. this takes courage because we cannot conquer what we don't confront. You cannot admit what you don't acknowledge. So the first thing we want to think about, and maybe you can keep a journal, you can write it down on a piece of paper or whatever. The inner critical voice is fueled by painful experiences. What painful, you need to maybe take some time to think about this. I would encourage you to write it down because we're able to glean more from what we're trying to accomplish the more you reinforce it through your senses, whether it's seeing it, writing it down, hearing it, vocalizing it, and we're going to get to the vocalizing it later. But the first thing we need to do is write down on a piece of paper, what was the painful experience that made you feel about yourself that you were not pretty?
Oh, wow.
What experience? Was it a teacher in 3rd grade that told you wasn't pretty? What was the experience that made you feel that you wasn't smart enough, that you wasn't handsome enough, that you wasn't good enough? These negative critical voices can be traced back to an experience. Maybe it could have been something that an uncle said, an aunt, maybe perhaps a mom or a dad or a teacher or a coach. Maybe it was the kid that was bullying people in school that told you were fat and you'll never be pretty. And now you done slimmed down and you got the hourglass feeling, but your mind is still stuck when he called you fat and you'll never be pretty. So we're trying to rearrange that so that we can walk in our healthy worth and positive self-value about our thinking. So just think about that. Trace it, try to go back. And it's going to take some courage because you have to acknowledge it. And it may cause you to shed some tears. It may cause you to get frustrated. It may cause you to become angry. But if you just hang on in there with me, I'm telling you, we're going to get to the mountaintop on this thing and our perspective is going to change. But now what we're trying to do is we're trying to dig up that fallow ground. We're trying to dig up them old past experience because we about to bury them and put the flower on top, put the tombstone on top, and we not revisit it again. Or when that thought tries to revisit you, I'm going to give you some principles and some ammunition to say, you're not coming in here. Just like Lifeline. You're not coming in. You're not coming in here no more. Because enough is enough of walking around thinking and feeling and behaving like you're not good enough, like you're not smart, like you're not intelligent, like you're not handsome, like you can't do it, like you're not pretty. The buck stops here. So our homework assignment for this week is to go think about those experiences when that teacher, that coach told you wasn't strong enough, you wasn't good enough. And hey, I've done this. It's worked for me, man. And I'm telling you, it'll work for you too.
Love it.
Yep.
That's awesome. I love it.
You gotta confront it in order to conquer it.
Yes, you do.
You gotta, and every week we're gonna have small homework assignments that's gonna change our thinking.
Love it.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
I'm here for it, honey. I'm here for it, sugar. I'm ready. Yes. All right.
And just keep in mind that when we revisit these feelings, we're revisiting these experiences and just to acknowledge it, but we're not receiving it. Because this is not who you were. You're not what they said you are. We're writing it down just so we can confront it. We can acknowledge what they said at the root of how it hurt us.
Nice.
And how it shaped our thinking. So I'm ready to go, man. It's gonna be good. All right. We just helping ourselves and helping people, man. That's it.
I'm gonna start on mine
look,
after the show.
I already started on mine.
Yes. All right. That's it. All right.
That's it. As a matter of fact, I shared some of mine last week on the show when I was talking about how my coach was telling me you're not good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough, you can't jump high enough. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I dropped 30 on you right now if you want.
You better stop it.
You see how my thinking has changed?
High to the 5.
You see how my thinking has changed?
You get the pound.
See, look, that was a prime example right there.
Yes.
I didn't plan that coming out of my mouth. But my thinking has changed about what was said to me, about what hurt me, and I lace them up right now at my age and still drop 30 on you. You know what I'm saying?
I'll get mine next week because I got to go sit and think about it.
I got you. That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Love it.
Yeah, we all got homework to do.
All right. I'm going to do my homework tonight.
All right. That's what's up.
Put it out there.
All right. Look, I'm excited, man. So I'm Actor Kevin D. Benton. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter at Kevin D. Benton. And check Nick and I out on on YouTube.
Yes.
We got trailers up there. We uploading clips, audition videos, all that stuff. Check us out. And hey, let us know what you think, man. And follow our acting journey. We are actor Kevin D. Benton on YouTube and actress Nikee Warren. Check us out.
Yes, check us out. I'm actress Nikee Warren, as Kev said, on Facebook, on Twitter,
at the Kev Nikee Show.
On Twitter, at Nikee Warren. And on the gram, hello, I'm Nikee. That's spelled HELLOIMNIKEE. You can find our show on Facebook, Kevin Nikee Show, on Twitter. Give it, Kev.
At Kevin Nikee Show.
At Kevin Nikee Show. And we're
Show.
coming to the gram. We're coming to the gram.
Soon, yeah, real soon.
Very, very, very soon. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff up there.
Videos,
shows, stuff,
pictures.
Yep, we're going to have a whole bunch up there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns regarding our show, email us to kevinandnikeeshow@yahoo.com. You got any questions for our special guest,
Sharyn Pak Withers?
Send us an email. We'll read it to her, get the answer, and read it back. And like we say every week, who knows? Your email can be featured on our show. Yes, like Kev said, go to our YouTube channels. Check us out. We got stuff up there. Also, go to Amazon Prime. Check out the Covington Witches. The witches are in the building.
Yeah.
And leave us a comment and let us know what you think about season 1, episode 1, season 2, episode 2. We're going into taping for that, and we will have that up there.
Yeah, I gotta leave a review.
Yeah, we will have that up there, and plus Kevin and I got some awesome stuff going on, and that's coming to Prime as well. Speaking that into existence right now. That's coming to Prime. So listen, stay up with us, go through our journey with us, and shout us out. Yeah. We love to hear from you. Yeah. Love to hear from you.
That's it.
That's all I got. Right. You got more?
All right. Now I'm after all the bad news, I'm back on the high now. I'm back on the high with this kind of
back on the high.
Rearranging of our thinking and this thinking challenge, and we getting rid of this critical point.
We getting rid. Listen, it got to go.
It got to go.
If we've been dragging that around for too long,
all our lives, you know what I mean?
Gots to go. It gotta go. Gotta go.
That's it. Well, all right. So, with the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio, we are everywhere, and we are out of here. Peace.
I
have been listening to the Kevin and Nikee Show on iHeartRadio.
Hello, and welcome to So Curious.
We are your hosts. I'm the Bull Bay.
And I'm Kirsten Michelle Sills.
On this season of So Curious, we are talking all about the science behind love, sex, and relationships.
So subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen.
If you're waiting for a liver transplant, you should know that the best outcomes happen when you go in healthier, stronger, sooner. That's why the Penn Medicine Transplant Institute offers living donor liver transplantation, which decreases wait time and increases survival. With experience and outcomes unmatched in our region, Penn Medicine Transplant Institute is completely transforming the liver transplant experience. It's another reason why your life is worth Penn Medicine. Learn more at pennmedicine.org/liver transplant